It's been a hot week for the Purple Nation. The Vikings locker room has been buzzing with comments, reactions, and even a bit of chatter among players and reporters about a statement that caught everyone by surprise. Daniel Jones, now a star for the Colts, opened up about his brief but remarkable time in Minnesota. And what he said about Kevin O'Connell is echoing throughout the league. You're about to understand why a player who never actually wore the Vikings jersey on the field felt compelled to send such a powerful message to Coach Kevin O'Connell, who, according to him, changed the way he sees the game. In just a moment, you'll find out why Daniel Jones's statement is being called the most respectful and provocative comment of the year in the NFL locker room. Do you remember that moment when it seemed like Daniel Jones was done? After being released by the Giants in the middle of the 2024 season, his name disappeared from the headlines. Many believed the former first-rounder would just become another backup drifting around the league. But it was right there quietly that Minnesota became a turning point in his story. In the midst of McCarthy's injury and Darnold's rise, Jones arrived as a replacement piece. He never took the field, never threw a pass. But he left there a different man, and what he revealed now shows that Kevin O'Connell didn't just coach a quarterback. He planted something that bloomed far beyond the U.S. Bank Stadium. Soon, I'll tell you how O'Connell's methods in private practices and QB meetings transformed Daniel Jones into a leader inside the Colts locker room. In an interview on the Fitz and Wits show, Jones broke his silence about what he learned in Minnesota. He said, "In Minnesota, I saw how Sam Darnold prepared. How Kevin prepared those guys. Josh McCown, Grant Udinsky. Everyone worked with an insane level of detail. Every play, every read, every scenario. Everything was studied and tested daily. They challenged each other all the time. Then came the sentence that made the NFL stop. That really impressed me. It was like seeing the next level of football. Kevin and his aggressiveness in play calling, that changed my mindset." From that moment, the internet exploded. Not just because of the praise, but because of what Jones was really trying to say. He was admitting, between the lines, that part of his current success is the result of the mentality he absorbed from O'Connell. To understand the weight of that, it's important to remember the context. Minnesota has always been seen as a quarterback rehabilitation factory under O'Connell. That's where Sam Darnold made his comeback in 2024, a case even studied by ESPN analysts. The coach has a rare gift. He makes players believe in themselves again. According to NFL insiders, O'Connell teaches his QBs to compartmentalize mistakes, often repeating that progress is process. Every bad play becomes fuel for the next one without losing confidence. It's the exact opposite of what brought Jones down in New York, where every mistake was treated like a sentence. And it was within that culture that the former Giants quarterback realized what had been missing in his career: mental structure. They pushed each other, but they also supported each other. It was a united QB room, and Kevin was the maestro, Jones said. In a moment, I'll reveal an interesting detail about how Kevin O'Connell taught his quarterbacks to compete with one another and how that turned into a daily routine for Jones in the Colts locker room. When Jones arrived in Indianapolis, few believed he would win the competition against Anthony Richardson. But it only took 5 weeks to change everything. 4 wins in 5 games, 71.6% of passes completed, 816 yards, and no turnovers. Those numbers are no coincidence. They reflect the style he witnessed in Minnesota: controlled aggressiveness, complete trust in the plan, and execution without hesitation. At the Colts HQ, Jones began applying the same practices he learned from O'Connell group study sessions, play quizzes, and film analysis meetings without the coach present. His teammates call it the Purple Routine. And here's the point that shocked many Vikings fans. Jones, a player who never threw a single pass for Minnesota, became one of the biggest promoters of O'Connell's culture outside of it. Soon, you'll hear how Kevin O'Connell himself reacted when asked about Jones's statement, and his response says a lot about the kind of leader he is. According to ESPN sources, O'Connell was genuinely moved when he heard the former quarterback's words. He reportedly said behind the scenes that Jones has always been the kind of guy you want to see win because he watches, absorbs, and applies. No vanity, no surprise, just pride in seeing the method working beyond Minnesota. He doesn't just teach plays, he builds relationships. His ability to communicate with athletes who were once written off is what turns failures into second chances. And in Daniel Jones's case, that connection became transformation. Today, when he leads the Colts huddle, there are clear echoes of O'Connell's voice in the offensive calls, in his steady gaze, in his calm after a mistake. In the next section, I'll show you why experts believe Jones's success is a direct extension of the philosophy O'Connell applies with the Vikings, and how this could influence Carson Wentz's future. What's most interesting is that the story of Jones and O'Connell goes beyond gratitude. It's about legacy. While the coach continues shaping new quarterbacks in Minnesota from Darnold to McCarthy, and now Wentz, the reflection of his work is already visible in other uniforms in other states. If football is a game of systems, perhaps the O'Connell system is spreading throughout the NFL: discipline, empathy, and boldness. As one sporting news analyst said, Minnesota may have lost Jones, but gained something greater: the reputation of being the place where careers are reborn. Vikings fans know success doesn't always wear purple, but when a former Viking shines elsewhere and credits the coach as inspiration, that's a victory too. Soon, I'll tell you how O'Connell's method worked from the inside, from tactical sessions to emotional impact, and what Daniel Jones revealed about the offensive aggressiveness he learned from the Purple Playbook. Get ready, because what comes next connects emotion, strategy, and the purple DNA that spread throughout the NFL. While the ripple effect of Daniel Jones's words was still echoing, one question lingered in the air. Why did this statement move fans and even shake the NFL's inner circles so much? The answer lies in sincerity. It wasn't a rehearsed speech or an attempt at self-promotion. It was public recognition that, in the middle of a tough phase, a coach believed in him before even seeing him throw a single pass. Kevin O'Connell saw in Jones something few still did: the potential to start over. And now, with Jones leading the Colts with confidence, it's as if every victory in Indianapolis is also a silent nod to Minnesota. In a moment, I'll tell you what Jones revealed about his first quarterback meeting in Minnesota, a simple moment that defined his perception of the coach he now calls his indirect mentor. In the conversation with Fitzpatrick and Whitworth, Jones said that on his very first practice day with O'Connell, he realized the environment was different. The coach didn't start by talking about tactics or statistics. He talked about mental rhythm, emotional preparation, and the importance of speaking the same language inside the quarterback room. Jones said he left that meeting feeling like he was back in college, as if he were relearning how to study football. He understood that raw talent wasn't enough. It was necessary to master the logic behind every play. That vision shaped the quarterback we see on the field today, more aware and strategic. According to behind-the-scenes reports, O'Connell often designs hypothetical situations on video and asks his quarterbacks to describe out loud the sequence of decisions they would make. It's not just about reading defenses, it's about training the mind to react in fractions of a second. Jones stated that this kind of preparation is like meditation applied to football, something that helped him eliminate the fear of making mistakes. Today, when facing blitzes or coverage shifts, he reacts automatically because he's trained for it. This is the invisible legacy left by Minnesota. And soon, I'll reveal how this legacy impacted another player who also came through O'Connell's school, and what it shows about the consistency of the coach's method. Sam Darnold's case serves as a mirror. He was also written off by two franchises before finding stability under the same system. O'Connell repeats the same cycle with every quarterback: diagnosis, rebuilding confidence, and gradual application of complexity. For him, every player first needs to reconnect with the joy of playing before thinking about statistics. This philosophy spread throughout the roster and even inspired assistant coaches to replicate the group mental dynamics. When Daniel Jones talks about detail and aggressiveness, he is referring to this balance of freedom within discipline. Jones said that one of the things that impressed him most was seeing O'Connell turn frustration into a tool. When a practice didn't go as expected, the coach would ask the group to return to the room and watch the mistakes without hurry, without judgment. He wanted errors to be treated as data, not guilt. This type of environment is what the former Giants quarterback never had in New York. And it was this that freed him to take more risks, trust his reads, and throw naturally. In just a moment, I'll show you what Kevin O'Connell recently said about Carson Wentz's future and why he believes the veteran can follow the same path as Daniel Jones. In a recent interview, O'Connell stated that Wentz is relearning to be patient within chaos, a phrase that closely mirrors what Jones mentioned about the coach's impact. For the Vikings, McCarthy's return is still uncertain, and the coach knows emotional stability at the position will be crucial. The expectation is that Wentz will quickly absorb the preparation principles that shaped Darnold and Jones. If he succeeds, Minnesota could turn yet another overlooked career into a redemption story. And since we're talking about redemption, soon I'll reveal the most symbolic part of Daniel Jones's message, what he meant by aggressiveness in play calling, and how it reflects in his current performance. Jones's remark about offensive aggressiveness wasn't just a technical compliment. He was referring to the mindset he learned from O'Connell, playing to win, not just to avoid mistakes. This concept has completely changed how he reads the field. In Indianapolis, Jones adapted the philosophy to his own style, encouraging the offensive coordinator to use more vertical routes and risky third-down calls. It's exactly the kind of boldness that defines the Vikings system. On the field, this translates into deep passes, constant movement, and confidence in high-pressure situations. Now comes a detail that almost no one noticed: the gesture Jones made after the Colts' last win, which Vikings fans interpreted as a silent tribute to O'Connell. During the last game, after throwing a decisive touchdown, Jones looked to the sideline, tapped his helmet with his index finger, and pointed to the sky, the same gesture O'Connell used in practices to reinforce the importance of mental decision-making. To someone unfamiliar with the symbol, it may look like just another celebration. But for those who experienced that routine in Minnesota, the gesture says it all. It's recognition of origins, the bond between student and coach. This bond is what sets Kevin O'Connell apart from so many other coaches. He doesn't just create schemes, he creates people capable of sustaining those schemes. In a league where coaches change teams like they change jerseys, O'Connell builds emotional roots that continue to flourish far from him. Daniel Jones is living proof of this. Today he wears blue, but he carries a touch of purple between the lines, the same purple that reignited his confidence when everyone doubted him. Perhaps that's why the video of his interview went viral so quickly. The audience connected not only with the sports story, but with the human message. No one is truly finished as long as someone believes in you. And in Jones's case, that someone is Kevin O'Connell. As Minnesota prepares for the next round and Carson Wentz tries to repeat the miracle of starting over, Vikings fans know that Daniel Jones's statement was not just a compliment, it was a mirror. It showed that even outside the roster, the team's spirit continues to influence players across the NFL. It's the kind of legacy that doesn't show up in statistics, but can be felt in every huddle, in every confident glance of a quarterback who once doubted himself. In the end, Daniel Jones's strong words were more than gratitude. They were a reminder that success in the NFL is made of invisible connections, of mentors who teach without needing to be by your side. And if football at its core is about trust, O'Connell is today one of the few who knows how to rebuild it. Perhaps that's why every time a former Viking shines in another uniform, fans feel a small sense of pride, because in their hearts, everyone knows the purple touch is still there. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.